speak with a lot of up and coming actors too, and like you said, they like to hear from me because I just got started. And
Hmm.
honestly, a lot of what I tell them, like the two things we talked about, do plays, just do it. Stop waiting for the right time to jump in and like just do it. There's never gonna be. Don't wait until you're doing all the research in the world. Don't wait until you took the perfect class. Like all that's gonna come regardless. Just go now.
Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. I'm Kevin Marable. I am the creator and founder of theblackscript.com. And I like to interview different people, whether they're actors, filmmakers, screenwriters, people who are in the industry, but most importantly, people who are people of color. We have with us today Daytwan Williams, who hails from Dallas, Texas,
Yes, sir.
but originally from Denver.
Denver,
Daytwan, what's going
Colorado.
on, man?
What's going on, Kev?
Now you are an actor or an aspiring actor,
No,
correct?
I'm an actor. I'm an actor.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you got into acting.
Oh man, my story is a little unique, man. I originally, like I said, I'm originally from Denver.
Mhm.
I grew up playing football my whole life, but I always had this entertainment just in me. I just whether it was making people laugh, singing, like I always just love entertaining people. So I ended up still pursuing football.
Mhm.
But I always would watch TV and I can do that. I can do that. I want to do that. I went to college, played college football. And even my coaches, they would be like, man, you might be in the wrong industry because they would have me like write songs for the team to get them hype and like I would rap for everybody. Like, so it's just always been in me to just entertain.
Uh-huh.
Um, After I graduated, I moved to Dallas because I got a job to coach football. So I was coaching and teaching at a high school for about almost 2 years.
Mhm.
And then it just got too busy for me, man. And I was like, hey, look, my excuse was always, oh, I played football. That's why I can't act. I don't play football no more. So let's do it.
Right.
I kid you not, man. I went home. I eventually quit my job. And I just Googled auditions near me. And
Wow.
there was literally an audition near me in Dallas. And I went to it. It was an in-person audition.
Uh-huh.
Showed up to it. I did not get the audition, but the lady there, she loved me. She was like, "You got the look. Now we just got to make sure you can act." I didn't know she had been in the industry for 30 years,
Oh,
so she
wow.
coached me up for about 5 months or so, and then got me out to LA to do this showcase. And I
Uh-huh.
ended up singing there, doing some monologues, and I ended up getting an agent and a manager. And ever since then, I've just been running.
Really? Okay. So this is interesting because with everybody that I talk to, everybody has a different path that they've taken, and for some people, it is one step at a time, and for others it's all at once. And the way you're explaining it sounds like it's all at once, or
Yes.
it can appear or seem like it's all at once.
Yeah.
um, if you can break down a little bit about once you got to LA and you were able to get representation, how long did that take, and what was that experience like?
The experience was great, man. I just being there was like, wow. So, like you said, it did all happen all at once for me. Everything was happening so fast. This all just happened last year. I just started acting in August of last year, and
Really?
I've done like 20 plus commercials, like 6 movies. Like it just been happening so fast for me. But while I was out in LA, it was just great
Hmm.
networking. Like I said, I sung, I did some monologues, and then afterwards, the managers and agents who were interested in you, they would ask for you to have a short conversation with them. You would go to the table, you would sit and talk with them, and for me, it was more so me interviewing them. Like what have you done?
Right.
Who have you represented? Have you ever made anybody famous? Like, what do you come with? And a lot of them wanted me to move out to LA, move out to LA.
Mhm.
Like I had one guy like, oh, you got a girlfriend? Leave her. Like just like they wanted me to move out to LA, drop everything. So what happened was I ended up picking a manager who he has some connections in Texas.
Hmm.
So I signed with him, and he eventually got me signed with my agent in Texas because again he had connections. Um,
Wow.
But a lot of that whole process was understanding that I wasn't going to go to LA,
Hmm.
understanding who could actually help me right now,
Right.
and then also not hopping on there, thinking they're just interviewing me. I'm interviewing you. Like what have you done? How can you help me? Is there anybody else that you have on your team that looks like me already? Like little things like that.
Right. But
Um,
let's stay there real quick, just for a quick second. And I'm glad that you're mentioning that it was you interviewing them more so than them interviewing you. And I want to stop there for two reasons. One is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure they wanted to get a feel of what your personality was and who you are and how introverted or extroverted you are, how outgoing. They wanted to see your character. So by them being more quiet and allowing you to speak, that's what they're gathering from you. But
right,
on the flip side of that, it is very important that you ask those questions in those rooms, so that way from your standpoint and from an artist and actor standpoint what you're getting yourself into and who you're getting yourself involved with. That is very important as somebody who's looking to get into this industry. So I'm glad that you pointed that out. I didn't mean to cut you off because I
no,
know you were telling your side of things, but I thought that that was an important factor in this
no,
story.
definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. And a lot of it, you get so excited to be in front of those people that you just will say yes to anything, and it's just
Right.
you gotta, you know, interview
I
them,
feel them
see
out.
what exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, because there were a couple of people that I talked to, and whether I went with anybody there or not, I wasn't just going to go with anybody regardless. I would have left LA and just
Yeah.
kept looking, So it got to fit you.
Right.
Um, but yeah, again, my man, it just started off real fast for me. I've been in it about a year now, so my journey has been fun
Hmm.
and interesting. So
I
I've just been
bet.
running with it.
So let's backtrack just for a quick second. Um, you said you had an audition and you didn't quite get that audition. Was that audition for a film role or an acting role, or was it commercial?
Commercial.
Commercial, okay. And
Yeah,
these were these like major commercials, local, regional?
yeah. I think it was like a local commercial. And honestly, I think it was like for a uh, not Sears, like a J.C. Penney's or something, or
Okay,
Macy's or something, one of those stores.
gotcha.
Um, and honestly, I thought like when I didn't get it that it was like, dang, And she built me right back up, like, oh no, I like you, you
Hmm.
know, uh, uh,
Exactly.
you got the look, you're confident, you got this, you got that. Let's make sure you can act now. Like,
Right,
is this what you really want to do? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, let's make sure you can act. And she
right.
started coaching me up, and that it is just crazy, man. To this day, I'm just excited that I met her. I still keep in contact with her. So
Wow. Mhm. Now that's truly a blessing, and it also speaks to the fact that even though you get a no or rejection when you go to an audition, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the end for you, and you still want to give it 1,000% because you really don't know who's watching and what they're looking for, and you like you did, you gave it your all, and the lady who discovered you, she recognized that talent in you, first on, immediately, and so she took you under her wing, coached you up, and put you in the right path. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that is pretty awesome, man. So okay, so you now have become an actor. You've gotten some coaching. You go to LA. You start to audition for other roles. Is that what happens?
So after I left LA, got my manager. As soon as I got back to Dallas, we started. He reached out to me and told me to reach out to an agent that he knows that was in San Antonio. Reached
Okay.
out to him right away. Had a conversation with him, signed with him not about a week later. And then we literally hit the ground running. I think like that first week, I did 2 commercials out in Austin.
Mhm.
Um, one of them being a national commercial with Church's Chicken.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was crazy. And then I literally just kept doing all these commercials. And I talked to him like, hey, look, I want to do some movies.
Right.
Like I want to do some movies. And I guess he didn't really, I guess I wouldn't say take me serious. He started sending a couple, but he kind of more so kept leaning towards commercials. And that's when I realized at the end of the day, this is my career.
Right.
I got to take initiative. And
Hmm.
I started reaching out to people. And long story short, shout out to Denise Monet, man, the first person to give me an opportunity to be in a movie. I literally reached out to her on Instagram and just said, hey, I'm an actor looking for
Hmm.
opportunities, looking for just to meet people. And she's like, actually, look, got some auditions going right now. You can audition. Auditioned, and she reached back out like, oh, you killed that shit.
Mm.
And I've been running ever since. And a lot of the movies, the last two movies I did, I didn't even have to audition for. It's just
Oh,
networking. The power of
wow.
networking has
Right.
just been crazy.
So you've been getting yourself into the different circles. You've been going to events, specifically events that whether they're premieres, red carpets, um, screenings, those type of deals. Is
Yeah.
that what's going on?
And the biggest thing is just taking advantage when you get on set. Like you
Right.
said, you never know who's on set. Like there were people on set after I would do my scene, they would pull me to the side like, hey, you available for these dates? I got a movie going on over here this time. Like you
Yes.
never know who's on set. Taking advantage of being on set, networking with the people that are on set. Cause I'm new and a lot of them been doing this. They know
Exactly.
they know
Exactly.
all these people, they know all these connections, and it's like now they like me. And
Yeah.
now they can trust me on set. They see that I'm serious about this, and now they're not afraid to refer me to somebody.
Right.
So it's just taking advantage of being on set, really.
No, and that's a smart move. That is a good way of networking, especially once you're on set, getting to know everybody and allowing them to to vouch for you as well. And they see, how hungry you are, how committed you are, and how good of an actor you are. At the end of the day, they're going to keep you around because they see, the drive in you and the motivation in you and the talent in you. So okay, so where are you currently in your acting career? I did take a look at your socials and your IMDb, and I saw that you have several movies that are in post production. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, man. I so after I did my first movie in May, Denise, she reached back out for me to do another movie. So I
Hmm.
did that one. That's Hidden Agenda. I'm very excited for that one. I've been playing a lot of these kind of roles that I wouldn't say they're definitely opposite of my personality. So they were challenging, but they were still fun.
Hmm.
And then I'm really excited for Distinguished Robbers that's gonna come out here soon. That one was so fun, man.
I like that title. Is it action thriller? Is it comedic?
It's action based, man. We
Okay.
we out there running around, guns, like it was so fun, man. It was and even that one, I had a friend who was on already a cast member, and he was like, hey, we got an opening, you can come audition. We're doing some auditions.
Hmm.
And I just showed up, did the audition, and just gave it all I got. And as I left, I got reached back out to they were like, hey, we got a small role for you. And I was like, oh dang. And then a couple hours later, she called me back like, hey, I sent you the wrong thing. You got a lead role. And I was like, oh snap. So
Right.
it was just like just showing up, giving your all, man. You never know
Absolutely.
what's gonna happen. So very excited for that one. And then I met Brandy Speck. Shout out to Brandy and Jannard. We got the temp coming out.
Mm.
And Twisted Justice. Both of those are going to be some spicy ones. So yeah, man, they're when they come out, a lot of them they're gonna have you on the edge of your seat. It's
Yeah.
definitely a thriller type vibe. So
I'm excited to check them out, man. You're gonna have to let me know once they are about to release, so that way I can start helping you promote,
yeah,
do whatever I can on my end to give you guys a good look. Who are you working with? Are these all based by the same director, same writers? Okay.
no, Denise Monet, who I mentioned, I got two movies with her. Actually, about to do one with her here soon. And then Distinguished Robbers, Kendra,
Hmm.
Miss Kendra King, Rainey King. Met her, like I said, just through my friend telling me there's some auditions, and I built a relationship with them to where it's like we gonna be doing some series and parts twos, and
Right.
so. And then the last one I met Brandy on set with Denise, and she
Hmm.
has her own thing going on with Jannard, and so they're all different writers, all different productions, but
Wow.
it's small. Everybody knows everybody essentially,
Hmm.
and everybody promotes everybody. Everybody supports everybody, so it's all love everywhere. But yeah, different writers, different.
And these are all folks that are in Dallas.
So most of them are in Houston. Kendra's actually in Dallas with me, so I spend a lot of time in Houston. I drive to Houston quite often.
I see. Okay. Okay. That's cool. The reason why I was asking is because I've talked to some other brothers from Texas as well. One's in Fort Worth, the other one is in Dallas, um, and they one's the manager, the other one's the actor. The one that lives in Dallas is the actor, and he does a lot of films with Elmore Vision. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Yeah,
Elmore
definitely.
Vision.
I just started seeing that, and I think
Okay.
I know who you're talking about. Is it Tyrone? My boy
Yeah,
Tyrone.
yeah. Tyrone is everywhere, man.
That's my boy, man. I just met
Okay.
Tyrone. We're actually working on a show together right now.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's
yeah.
good to meet more people from Dallas because one of the things that they were telling me is that there's really no big market for you guys out in Texas. And are you able to talk a little bit about that or kind of speak to that point?
So for me, man, I honestly still feel like I'm still getting my feet wet. Like
Right.
I'm kind of taking every opportunity and just taking advantage of it.
Hmm.
Now, I will say, after being in it, being other places and networking, and the market is not as big as say Atlanta or
Right.
LA or but I kind of don't even look at it like that. I kind of look at it like just like I have my whole life. Like even when I was playing football, don't matter where you play, if you're good, you're gonna get noticed. So I'm just
Exactly.
focusing on my craft of just getting stuff out there, getting stuff
Right.
out there. You never know who's gonna see it. So just that's kind of where my mindset is. I really don't like I don't care where I was.
Right.
I'm gonna act and I'm gonna perfect my craft and I'm gonna get my stuff out and it's whatever happens happens. But yeah, definitely. I mean, the truth is the truth. It's not a huge market, but
Hmm.
we're gonna make it happen.
Well, for sure. And you guys are making it happen. And just as I told them, I like the fact that with the newer generation of actors that are coming in, you guys are approaching it in such a different manner than the actors that have come before, where you had to go to Hollywood or you had to go to New York, or now you have to go to Atlanta. Um, Now there's a lot of these hubs popping up everywhere in all the major cities, and there's a lot of filmmakers out there who are making independent films. Uh, I don't want to necessarily discredit when I say low budget films, but they're not major budgets. They're still good quality,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they're just dealing with a smaller budget. But they're making it happen and they're putting it on these streaming platforms. A lot of streaming platforms are working with these independent filmmakers and up and coming filmmakers, and so you guys are paving a new path for how to get into this industry. And just as Tyrone is doing, you are building a catalog, whether it's on the independent route, or you start in the independent route, but that is going to build a pathway into the major market at some point. If
Definitely.
that's the route that you choose to take, you can stay independent and have a relatively amazing career as an independent actor. There's a lot of actors who do, and they make
Yeah.
great money doing it. And a lot of times they can make more money doing it on the independent route because they get more work. But
Right.
yeah, there's a lot to be said as far as how you guys are going about approaching this business, for sure.
Definitely. Definitely.
Hmm.
And when I came in, I kind of, because I kind of had that same mindset of, I want to act, but I'm in Texas. What does Texas got going on? And as I started to get to know people, I'm like, oh, y'all do this, y'all
Right.
like
Yes.
y'all do this. So it's definitely like you said, it's definitely a different approach of where it's like we're gonna just do it where we at. We ain't going nowhere. We gonna be creative here.
Right. And it's surprising that such a major city as Dallas, and there's no huge market there. You would
Right.
think that there would be a huge market there, just as it is, with
Right.
music and football and some of the other things. It's kind of surprising that that doesn't exist already, but you guys are creating that as we speak. So there's a lot of things that you can do, a lot of avenues that you can take to build that up in your market and basically be a front runner and a leader in that space. Was that passion for acting always there, or you just knew that you were always some shape and form of an entertainer? You just didn't know in what
Yeah.
form.
I think it was always me just being passionate about entertaining in general. I grew up singing. I got a couple songs out now. So at first, for a long time, I thought I was going to be a singer or a
Mhm.
rapper or whatever the case may be. But I would watch movies and I would watch these different things, and I'm like, I can do that. And
Yeah,
or like I would talk to my friends, and they're like, "Why are you so animated every time you tell a story?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like it's just me. So I think that passion has always been there. I
yeah,
just, just like inspiring people and motivating people through entertainment, So, yeah, it's definitely always been there since a kid. I think, I was doing solos in church as a little boy, and like, like it just has never been something that I didn't want to do.
right.
So, yeah, it wasn't necessarily acting, but now that I'm in it, I'm like, this is that passion for acting has been growing a lot. So
Right. And just the fact that, you started with singing and potentially singing in front of crowds, getting yourself comfortable being in front of people, and you already have that outgoing personality. It doesn't seem like you have any issue with sparking conversation or talking to people, even if you've just met them. So you definitely have pluses in that department because it's not easy for everyone.
right,
And there's a lot of amazing actors out there, but when you talk to them outside of their role or what it is that they do, they kind of clam up and kind of go into their shell. So you definitely have that working for you for sure. I was just curious to know where the passion comes from. And I can see if you were already doing music and you were already in that lane, um, it was only going to grow from there.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I also saw that you've done some stage acting.
Oh man,
Have you done some plays?
yes, sir. I think that's one thing I'll say for anybody wanting to start acting, man, is do plays. When I first started, I was naive and I told myself I was never going to do plays. For some reason, I made up in my mind that I did not like plays, and it's crazy that one of the first before I did movie, I did a play.
Okay.
This guy in my church reached out to me. Shout out Mike, and he was like, "Hey man, I got this play going on. I see that you're an actor. And we go to church together. I didn't even know you were an actor." He's like, "Just check out this role. Let me know if you're interested." And I was like, "Ah." I started reading it, and I was like, "Okay, I might be
Right.
able to swing that." So I did it, man, and I had the time of my life, man. And not only that, it was great practice. It was,
Right. Absolutely.
you have to memorize the whole script 6 nights in a row, and
Mhm.
you got to it works on your improv because somebody's gonna mess up, and you got to be able to because the crowd don't know they
Right.
messed up, but you got to be able to
Pick
twist
it
it to
up.
where they can get them back on track, and
Right.
it just was so fun, man, and on the spot, and that's me. So it's like I was like, this is great. So we actually were working on another one. Some things happened where we had to postpone, but we're gonna get that back going again. So now
Oh,
I'm
most
kind of
definitely.
I look into plays now.
Okay. And that's actually another viable route that a lot of actors can take is, acting on stage.
For
Everything
sure.
doesn't have to be, on set and in front of a camera. You can also do stage plays. Also,
Yeah, that'd be
you-
definitely one.
what was the feeling like being on stage in front of a live audience? What
Man.
I can imagine that's a different level of energy.
Oh yeah.
Did it ever shake you at all? Were you ever nervous?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even as confident as I am, I was like, man, because even with movies, it's like we can cut and do it again, you know.
Right.
But I was like, man, we practiced this, we did this, and the first night, so many people came. I was like, this is crazy. So
Yeah.
I was peeking at people walking in, and you know you start to get those butterflies, and I'm the
Mhm.
lead character, so I'm
Yeah.
out there basically the whole time, and I'm like, whoo man. So definitely was nervous, man. I think every single night I was nervous,
Mhm.
but as I got going, it went away, and it all turned out great. But definitely still got those little jitters of
Right.
just you know going out there in front of people and just I guess it just shows that you care, though. You know, like I wanting to do great and get the message across because this was a faith based play,
Okay.
so it was really a good word that was getting out there, and I was like, man, just allow me to use me as a vessel to get this word out. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to forget my lines, you know.
Right.
And honestly, it was so perfect, man. It went so great every single night. I couldn't have asked for anything more, honestly.
How long did the play last?
So we did it. We just did it for 2 weekends. So we did it
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back to back. So yeah, we had 6 show dates,
Hmm.
and they all were packed. I think the last one was the most packed.
Wow.
But yeah, it was crazy because he was sitting on this play for a little while, man, and I guess he could never get it going for whatever reason, and then we did it, and I was so happy that I got to be a part of it because the whole cast had already worked with each other before. I was the newcomer, and it was great. So now I'm blended in with that family now, and still doing work with them. So
Right. Right. Now, as far as once you received the script, did you guys rehearse at all?
oh
Um,
yeah,
okay.
oh yeah.
And how intensive was the rehearsals?
Oh man, because you have to rehearse with your cast members. You know, for plays, it's like you have to build that relationship. You have to build that chemistry because again, it's live. And you
Hmm.
got to know where you're gonna be at on stage. You got don't know can't be stepping on other people's toes. Like it's
Right.
all about it's so much that goes into it. So we would practice. We only practice surprisingly like 2 times a week for 2 hours.
Okay.
But when
In
we
in
got in
person,
there,
in
in
person,
person,
in
in
person.
person,
Okay.
yep. So when we got in there, we knew we only had a little time.
Right.
So it was like we locked in. You know,
Hmm.
it's the first couple days we would focus on this scene, this scene, this scene, and then after a little while, we running through the whole play every single night, running through the whole play. Now we're critiquing all these little things, and it was intense. Like we've gotten yelled at, we've gotten like, hey y'all need to take it like. This play's coming up soon, like because you know we were a group that got along really well. You know, you can start playing too much, and you know, so
Right.
we got snapped at a couple of times, and so the whole thing was intense, but it
Uh-huh.
was needed, and it was great. It was all love, but yeah, it was those plays, man. They get real intense for sure.
Oh, I can imagine, especially depending on what the subject matter is about. If it's a dramatic play, you guys are tackling serious subjects, or
Right,
if there's some serious, dialogue between you and somebody else. I can
right.
imagine.
And these people, you know, they pay their money to come see you. It's like you want to give them a good show. You don't
Yes,
want to
you
just be
you
out
want
there
to
just to be
perform.
out there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. So transitioning from stage plays into acting on film, did you have any difficulty when it came to reading the script and acting out your scenes on camera?
no, man. Honestly, I'm a I've never had problems with scripts. Like I memorize scripts so fast. I don't know if it's a gift or, as Montreal likes to say, it's because I'm young. I just I don't know, man. I'll read something. I remember one day we were doing practice for the play, and I forgot to study a certain scene, and I
Mhm.
only had a couple lines, and I went back for like 15 minutes, looked at it, studied it, came back in and did it. And they're like, "How do you do that?" I don't
Yeah.
know. So like, as far as like memorization, that has never. I tell people all the time when I'm on sets, like, you'll never hear me scream line. Like I always know my line. I think it was who was it? Man, who was it? Famous actor. He said I might forget your name. I might forget what I had for breakfast, but I'll never forget my line. That's
Oh wow.
me.
No, that's for sure.
Samuel L. Jackson. It was
Oh
Samuel L.
yeah. Well,
Jackson.
he's and he's a pro. He's done countless movies. I can't even tell you, but I think he's
Oh
got
yeah.
like a record for how many movies he's done.
Man.
Um, yeah, no, he's definitely an inspiration and an icon, a legend for sure. Um,
Definitely.
what kind of roles are you looking for? Do you find yourself maybe wanting to lean into like the comedic actor side of things or dramatic?
Definitely. I feel like I haven't had the chance to lean more into that comedic role yet.
Okay.
And I feel like that comes natural to me. So I'm
Hmm.
excited for one of those. Haven't had one yet. So those are definitely that's probably at the top of my list. Something funny, whether it's just a romantic comedy, just a straight comedy. Um, yeah, that's kind of what I'm most excited for. So far, I've been doing a lot of thriller types and crazy boyfriend type roles and
Hmm.
things like that. So they've been fun, but definitely want to get into that comedy role.
All right, people. So if anybody who's watching, if you're looking for an actor in Dallas, we have one that is looking for comedic acting roles.
Yeah,
We definitely have one that's looking for comedic acting roles. What actors or actresses do you look up to, or who inspires you?
it's crazy, man, because I never really had like a somebody I looked up to like growing up as far as an actor. Because again, I was so huge into football, and like there
Right.
were good actors that I would see, but I never really studied acting. I never really looked into acting. It was just something in the back of my mind that I was like, I want to try that one day. But now I would probably say I really like Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
I really like Samuel L. Jackson for sure. I
Right.
watch a lot of his videos of of just him just giving advice, and he's so just he he's a man for sure. Um, and then I would say Lorenz Tate. I feel like
Okay.
he's one of those guys that he doesn't really get
The credit.
typecasted.
Right.
He doesn't
Or the
like
credit.
he right. He doesn't get the credit. And I feel like if you look back on all that he's done so
Right.
many different roles. It's like this man
Absolutely.
played a lawyer, a gangster, like he has this variety, and it's crazy. So I feel like he's one of those guys that didn't get typecasted into one certain kind of role, and he does good in all of them.
Hmm.
So I would say those guys for sure.
Yeah. I think it's a certain level of being picky or choosy with the roles that you accept. I'm sure he's gotten a plethora
Right,
of roles that could be a million O dogs or
right,
a million um, rom com or romantic like chick flick type
right.
roles. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I think there's something to be said about being very selective as to which roles that you want to play and not just saying yes to everything
right,
that comes your way.
right.
And so, for you, being that you're very green at this, make sure
Yeah,
you do the same thing.
definitely,
But
definitely.
I mean, of course, everybody wants to get to the bag, but
Right,
but make sure that at the same time, you give yourself some variation and some style, and it'll also allow you to grow into, um, you know, the types of characters that you want to play and that people want to see you in.
right,
Um,
definitely.
would you ever consider getting into television and doing TV series, or are you looking strictly for feature films?
No, I definitely will get into some TV series. We're kind of working on a small little series now.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like series are easy to get hooked to for the audience. They're always waiting on what's going to happen next. So, I mean, it even happens to me. So, I mean, definitely would want to jump into some series here in the future for sure.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you, being that you are just getting your feet wet, you could probably explain this. I would like to know what your viewpoint is from your point of view. Um, when you step on set and it's your first day on set to film the role that you're going to be filming, and you talk to the director, one, what goes through your mind before you get into that role and you're preparing yourself for that role? Um, and then two, does do you have to seek guidance, or does the director tell you, you know, what to do before
Yeah,
they you start the scene?
definitely. Man, it honestly depends on the director. I learned early on, like when I first started doing movies, I would do a scene and nobody would say nothing. And I would like grab people and pull them to the side, like, did that look good? Like, how did I
Yeah.
do? Like, it was good. And he was like, man, if she didn't say nothing, she liked it. And I
Right.
had to learn that. Like, if they didn't give you any feedback, they liked it. So I was like, I was looking for some like good job. I was looking for the feedback, even if it was good or bad. And they was like, if she didn't say nothing, that's exactly what she wanted. And then
Exactly.
there's other ones that are very vocal. They'll say whatever the case may be, however they picture it, they'll keep giving you feedback, keep giving you feedback. So it just depends on the director. But my first day on set, honestly, I'm so prepared that I honestly don't have too much going through my mind. It's more so like I already have probably the whole script down.
Hmm.
So now it's just me putting myself in that place, getting to a space where I can portray it how I think it's supposed to be portrayed. And then if they wanted to see it a different way, great. But I never really go in um, kind of because they usually tell you what the character's supposed to be like or how they see him. So I feel like
Right.
I'm pretty prepared in that sense to where it's like I show up, I'm prepared. I already, have an idea of how I'm going to portray this character. And there are times where I'll do it and they're like, oh, no, I'll do it this way, which
Hmm.
isn't a problem. You got to be able to take direction. So yeah, man, nothing really on the first day because you get so much time ahead of you before you actually get on set to prepare that it's like if you
Right.
show up and you're not prepared, it's a problem. Like we've had some weeks to do this.
Right. Then you have to have that talk, like we
Yeah,
chose you for a reason, and you're not performing to the level that we thought you would.
exactly. And that's kind of what I tell anybody because people will see me acting and like I want to act. I'm like, do you? Like this is it. All looks fun and glamorous, but this is work.
Yeah.
Like it is real work, and it's not for everybody. I mean, it's
Right.
fun, and it's just. But again, it's not for everybody. Uh,
It takes a lot out of you, because you have to transform yourself into somebody else, or somebody that you aren't in your day-to-day life, and portray a role, whether it's good, bad.
man,
um, yeah, and
when I
I'm
had to
sure.
play crazy, man,
Oh
I
yeah.
went home. I was so tired. I was tired of yelling and just being mad and.
Because it takes a lot of energy
Oh
to pull
yeah.
that out of you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Have you taken any acting courses, acting classes beyond getting the acting coaching early on? Um,
Yeah. So after that, I jumped into some classes. I did some one-on-one classes with this guy out in LA. We would just hop on Zoom and do some one-on-ones. And then I went to T-Bell Actor Studio out here in Dallas.
mhm.
It was group acting. It's not my favorite, but honestly, I was able to meet some people and build a network and They will introduce you to who did their headshots, and so those group classes are real
It's a good
good
thing.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good for people that are doing the same thing as you to kind of build that tribe around you.
Right.
But me, I like one-on-one classes. I like
Mhm.
to really get into my stuff. So I did that, and then that kind of got way too expensive because these classes do get
It's
expensive.
costly.
So I jumped into some, and that was one of the main reasons I did plays too, because I seen plays as practice.
Right.
And even when I wasn't kind of in a position to be in movies and to do these different things, I would be at home acting by myself. I would be at home practicing monologues, or on YouTube looking at different areas to improve certain things. And
Right.
so people think like you have to wait until you got this much money to join acting classes, and wait until, man, read a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get into it, and you can do it at home. One of my goals is to act every single day for at least 30 minutes. Do something, whether it's an old script, whether it's a monologue, whether it's a commercial. Do something to keep it fresh. So even when I had a spurt where I was not in classes, I'm not in classes currently. I'm looking to get back into some classes. But even then, so I keep it fresh by I'm at home, I'm reading, I'm practicing with myself, and just staying active with gigs. That's
Mhm.
practice within itself. So I've been working on gigs consistently, doing all these different characters. So yeah,
And do you do you send out self tapes and do all
mhm,
the kind of virtual auditions and stuff like that as well
definitely. When I first got started, that's basically all it was. I think since I've been acting, I've only had like 3 or 4 in-person
in person?
auditions.
Mhm.
Yeah, so a lot of them are virtual. So I had to learn that whole setup to where, and that's the thing, I didn't have nobody telling me how to do it, I was on YouTube literally walking through step by step. You got to get this, you need these lights, you need a tripod, and I got it all and I set it all up. And even when I didn't have it, I used to stack shoe boxes up with
Hey
my
man,
water bottle and put my phone right there, and
you got to make
and
a
just
way.
that's
Yeah.
it, man. So it's there's no excuse. It's the knowledge is out there, the resources is out there. So I've never been the type, and that's another thing. I just do it. Like, people
Right.
just want to wait until the right time to. It's not the right time. Just go ahead and do it. Do it now. Now's the time.
Right. Early on in our conversation, you said that you quit your job.
Yeah.
Are you all in right now?
No, I'm actually in tech sales.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm in
I
tech
was
sales.
I just wanted to ask because
Yeah.
that's a whole nother level of commitment, and you have to really be ready. You have to be diligent, um, and you have to be prepared to
Oh yeah.
fight through the storms.
Yeah.
Weather the
No,
storms.
definitely. I quit teaching. I quit my teaching job.
Okay.
But I wasn't too scared because I had some money saved up,
Right.
and I was like, I'll find a job. I got 2 degrees. I'm not worried about a job.
Hmm.
But I just wanted to focus on acting. So I got into sales to kind of have that flexibility,
Right.
to still be able to act and still have some income, because I got a daughter now. So it's like,
Right.
I definitely have to work. So
Yeah. I heard her talking to you in the background. I heard
yeah,
it.
she back there.
No, but that's cool. And just to speak on fatherhood real quick, having the little ones at home, it gives you that extra boost, that
Oh
extra
yeah,
drive, that extra motivation to make it happen and to make these dreams and things come true. So that way you can provide for your loved ones and your family, and
yeah,
make a way and show them
exactly.
that daddy can do everything.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, man. Man, I always tell people, like, I've always just been I always just had all this type of motivation. I never needed nobody to get me going.
Right.
I always had strong whys in my life, and then I had a daughter. I was like, I didn't need any more motivation, but I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. So is she your only? She's your only child,
Uh-huh.
first child?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
10 months.
10 months. Wow. I like the fact that you don't have a whole lot um, under your belt just yet, because this allows for other up and coming actors, actresses
Right.
to get the feel of, or to, it's more relatable,
Yeah.
because they're in the same shoes or the same boat as you, and it also allows them to see that how other people like them are doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and so I like your perspective on how you're approaching things, and you don't just take it for what it is. You're also creative. You find new ways to make things work,
Yeah.
and you found a way to make it happen for you, um, relatively overnight. You know,
For real. I speak with a lot of up and coming actors too, and like you said, they like to hear from me because I just got started. And
mhm,
honestly, a lot of what I tell them, like the two things we talked about, do plays, just do it. Stop waiting for the right time to jump in and like just do it. There's never gonna be.
absolutely
Don't wait until you're done all the research in the world. Don't wait until you took the perfect class. Like all that's gonna come regardless. Just go now. And I would say another thing is just that confidence. For me personally, that just comes naturally because I'm just so competitive. But it's
mhm,
easy in this industry to feel intimidated because there's people that's been doing this for 10 plus years. You show up to auditions, you see people that know everybody in there. It's easy to feel like less
yeah,
than when you show up. And you just got to walk in there just so confident. That me personally, it's like, I don't care. I've never been the type to, let a resume scare me. I don't care what you used to do, who your daddy is, if you've been acting for 2 years, like
right,
since you was 2 years old. I don't care if Denzel Washington walk in there, like you're gonna have to show me today. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of confidence that you gotta have because even the casting directors, they can feel that. Like if you're timid,
yeah,
if you're
absolutely,
they want to be able to trust you on screen. So you gotta show that confidence. So
right.
um
And you, not only that, even if you're not fit for that particular role, that confidence will keep
right,
you around if they like you. You just
right,
have to have that likability
right. And
at the
like
end
you
of the
said, I've had plenty of gigs that I didn't get, but they referred me to somebody else.
day. Hmm.
Or they waited until they had another gig that they knew I would be a good fit for.
Exactly.
It's just showing up confident, being your true self. It's all gonna work out in the end.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's probably the top things I would say for upcoming actors is just do it, be confident, do plays, and then just networking. Networking is huge. A lot of the
Hmm.
movies, all the movies that I've done have came from networking.
Hmm.
Just the power of referral, just getting your face out there. And lastly, though, I would say is get your personal life in order
Oh yeah.
first and foremost, so you
Yes.
don't have to flake out when you are acting. Because I've seen dudes on set, man, show up late every day. This didn't happen in their life. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. And yes, life happens to us, but man, these are people's businesses. These are people's time. Like,
Right.
so make sure your personal life is in order first and foremost, so you don't have to flake out. You don't, because that it's going. They're not going to call you back.
Keep a
You got
good
to
reputation.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
Keep a good reputation. No matter what, you want to make sure that at the end of the day, people can vouch for you, even when you're not in the room. They can, they're able to refer you,
right.
and you can do the same for them, vice versa. And you just want people to be able to say good things about you, um, at the end of the day, no matter what. One of the last things that I usually do is a final word. You've kind of already given me words of inspiration or encouragement, uh, quotes. You've given me all of that. But if you have a final word or a piece of advice, or words of encouragement that you would like to either reiterate or say something new and fresh, now's the time.
Man, honestly, kind of like you said, I've said a lot of it already. The five things that I've harp on to a lot of people is just do it now. Having that confidence is key. Like I didn't have nothing on my resume, and I would like when you asked me when we got started, like you're an aspiring actor. I never said I was an aspiring actor. I'm an actor. Like having that confidence of just yeah, I'm him. And then just do plays. Definitely do plays. Get your personal life in order, and then network, 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 network. don't be afraid to show up to premieres and and things like that, and don't be afraid to reach out to people. I've reached out to so many people on Instagram. I know some cats probably tired of me every 2 to 3 months. You got any projects coming out? You got,
Yeah,
so just put yourself out there, man, and a lot of good has came from that though. So again, just if I wouldn't have done those things, I wouldn't have been able to have the opportunities that I had. So those would be the 5 things that I would want to leave with anybody who's wanting to act, man, is those 5 things right there for sure.
yeah. Never be afraid to shoot your shot, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
never
yeah.
be afraid to shoot your shot. Well, Daytwan Williams, thank you so much for giving us your time, your insight, and your point of view on what it is like to be an actor in
Yes, sir.
Dallas. And I wish you much success. I will be watching from the sidelines. As I said earlier, if there's anything that you would like for me to promote, let me know. Thanks
Definitely.
for joining the show, man.
Of course, man. I appreciate you for having me on here, man. And I'm definitely going to be sending you a couple things
Okay.
just to help promote and want you to check out also. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you having me on here, man. It's when we set it up, it
Yeah,
was just it was a blessing within itself. So
absolutely. Oh,
I appreciate you.
one last thing. Where can people find you on social media? Let people
Oh
know
yeah.
your handles.
I'm a lot more active on Instagram. My Instagram name is Daytuan. That's DETUAN 1. As soon as you type in Daytuan, it should pop up. You ain't gonna find too many Daytuans out there. So that's my Instagram name, man. I'm also on Facebook, just Daytuan Williams. I'm starting to
Okay.
get a little more active on there, just with the different cast and directors and things on there, and those
Mhm.
opportunities on Facebook. So those are probably the main 2 that I'm on. But yeah, definitely give me a follow. I'm gonna be posting a lot here soon. Probably got about 6 movies hitting 2024. So y'all stay
Yeah,
tuned, man. It's gonna be good.
you got a lot of things coming, man.